You got one eye out. G'day Sandy, how are you going? Oh right.
During 93-94 at Nunawading Council, we set ourselves certain objectives. One of those objectives was to be positive. And then after 8 or 9 months, we decided we wanted to count our achievements. And of course I'm talking about your community club here, your tennis club and your bowling club. This is an organisation who has achieved much without dollars from the council. It's one of those organisations that completely eliminates the negatives and works on the positives. And I congratulate the committee, I congratulate the tennis club president, Mr. Jeff Isles, and all those people here at Vermont South who have put together this marvellous bowling rink. And this is truly a community achievement of 1993-94. I also congratulate the ward councillors, and I'd like to introduce my ward colleagues, or council colleagues I should say. Now over here, on my left, is Councillor Bill Bowie, Councillor Noel Spur. Now where's that other young fellow we call Bill Jewell? Here he is, Bill Jewell, and Vice Chairman of the Bowling Club. But it's really an important and a wonderful occasion of achievement that we're here today to declare this bowling club open. And I proudly do that on behalf of the City of Nunawading. And I now declare the Vermont South Bowling Club open, and I wish you every success in the future, and we hope that when you need to expand, you just expand a little bit into the park.
I now call upon the President of the Vermont South Club Incorporated, Mr. Jeff Isles.
Thank you, Trevor. Mr. Mayor, John Richardson, Member for Forest Hills, Mr. Norm Knopp, President of the RVBA, and Mrs. Faye Dunn, the President of the VLBA, councillors of Nunawading, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Some 5 years ago, members of the Property and Planning Subcommittee of what was then the Vermont South Community Tennis Club got together to look at what was an unusual situation. Within 6 months, all outstanding loans that the club had taken out to build the clubhouse and the courts would be repaid. So what were we going to do with the $20,000 annually that the club ran at a profit? So the decision was then made that as we are part of an ageing community, what we should look to is cater for the needs and requirements of both current members and also future members from the community. And the first stage was completed in 1990 when the Mayor of the day, Councillor Savasathan, officially opened our new lower club rooms. We provided those with a few different ideas in mind. The foremost being to provide a day room or a meeting room, lunch room for eventually the bowlers, but in the meantime to provide facilities such as a office that was more than just a little dog box that we'd previously operated from, a fully licensed bar that would be able to provide the needs of the members' drinking requirements, the sauna and spa for those who felt inclined to take advantage of those facilities, and also a large open area that we could use for initially the indoor bias bowls. And that has been running now for about the last 18 months and very successfully. The second stage has been attained today with the opening of this superlative all-weather bowling green. The Planning Committee carried out extensive surveys to find the most popular and best supported surface from the bowls fraternity. We have been delighted with the finished sand-free surface provided to us by King Halen, who is with us here today. And to King, I'd say, on behalf of the club members, thank you very much. As many bowlers who are present today will be aware that there's been some reticence of acceptance by the bowling fraternity of the artificial green. I've heard comments like, it might be good, but it's nothing like the real dinky dye grass. But I think all of us need to be aware these days of the changing needs and the changing fads and facets and technology of the society we live in. And one of the things that we were very impressed with after doing very comprehensive surveys from most clubs who had put artificial greens in over the last 3 or 4 years was the fact that the surface provided by King Halen gave a sand-free surface. It was a new technology that we saw that although it was a dearer cost, we felt that for the long-term benefit of the club and its members, this would be the way to go. Whilst King may have had the contract to provide the bowling green surface, there is a lot more that is required in firstly ensuring that all the landscaping, shelters, sprinklers, fencings are completed, and then secondly establishing the framework and personnel for a whole new bowling club. And I think that some people here today might understand what I say when it's a difficult situation for a club that has been for 16 years a tennis club to all of a sudden come along and say, we now want to establish a complete bowling club. And there's a lot of work being put in by a lot of people, some with experience that we've opened with welcome arms to help us, because most of us are still on the tennis courts. The one person who has been responsible for bringing the Vermont South Bowls Club into reality is Trevor Holland. Many established and new members have responded to Trevor's request for assistance through the working bees and the subcommittees that have been established to get us where we are today. And on behalf of all the club members, to Trevor and also to Roy White, I'd like to give a special thank you, because whilst King put the green down, they did all the rest, and that meant a lot of work over the last 6 weeks. And so to you, thank you very much. Two other members who I would like to offer a special vote of thanks are Kevin Donovan, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today, and Nellie Sutherland. Kevin, who has occupied the chair for 5 years prior to 1989, has continued his valued assistance to the club through his involvement with the Nunawading Sports Advisory Board, where he is the current chairman. As one of only 2 life members of the club, he has made a continued contribution to the success of this club. Nellie, as the club secretary, has worked enthusiastically but silently behind the scenes to ensure the successful development of our bowling club, and has given a welcoming hand to our many new members. And to Nellie, I'd say again, thank you very much for all the work that you do. Finally, and most importantly, we would not be gathered here today opening this bowling green if it were not for the continuous support given to us by the Nunawading Council. Whilst this support on some occasions even meant the overturning of council officers' recommendations regarding our applications, the council have continued to give our club 100% support. Without the provision of the $65,000 loan, together with acting as bank guarantor for the additional $70,000 required to construct the green, no development would have occurred. To our Mayor, Councillor Abbott, and all of the other councillors, both past and present, and especially those with us today, may I say thank you. To all our club members, both old and new, on behalf of the Committee of Management, I would like to thank you for your assistance and support in converting today from an idea into a reality. It has been a pleasure to work with so many supportive people in such a harmonious environment. I know all of us will derive much pleasure in this new facility. Thank you all once again for your support. I'd like to call on now Mr. John Richardson, who will present the club with the Australian flag.
Mr. President, His Worship the Mayor of Nunawading, councillors of the City of Nunawading, the President of the RVBA and the President of the VLBA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I feel very comfortable here at a bowling green. I grew up in a bowling family. My father wasn't bad. He was champion of champions of the Murray Valley on a number of occasions. And so I'm very happy to be here and in familiar surroundings. And I'm also delighted to be able to present the flag, the Australian flag, to the club. It is with great pride that I present this Australian flag to the club. I know it will be flown with pride. Mr. President, with great pleasure, I present to you our national flag.
We're also very pleased today to be able to show for the first time our new club flag, and for this I'm very thankful to the Donovan family. Kevin, who I mentioned previously as president for 5 years, has presented this flag to the club. Unfortunately, as I said, he wasn't being able to with us today, but this is the new flag which we've got to erect a second flagpole for.
Well, all we need to do now is to take the official party in for afternoon tea, and if the others would join us, then Brian Woods will call a card after.
That'll be another shot.